Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our channel.
Your channel, not my channel.
I like yours.
You mean ours.
Okay, ours.
Well, welcome to everybody that is new. Welcome. And everybody that has decided to come back and watch another one of these, you're brave.
Yes.
But, you're definitely welcome too. Today's before and after is of a P90 Ideal Toni Doll. But with this particular before and after, we are going to get her ready to go trick-or-treating.
Absolutely.
And by the end of the video, she just might have some friends.
I hope so. It's terrible to go trick-or-treating alone.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that.
Nah.
No.
I have to have friends.
And in this particular before and after, I'm also going to show you how to make your own trick-or-treat bag for your doll. Yeah.
That'll be cute.
Our first little project. So welcome everybody, and here we go. This I wanted to show everybody is some of the things that you would have received if you had gotten your Toni doll in the original box. But this little girl doesn't look too happy in this original box because she's been neglected. She has got stains on her dress, and she's going to need lots of repair. Her arms are very much not there anymore. She's going to need to be restrung. So here she is. And we're just going to quickly run through the process, which we're going to take with this little lady to bring her back from where she is now to where she was when she was originally made. I don't think we can do anything quickly. Well, we're going to try this. We're going to try hard. Well, we keep trying. We keep failing. Well, they say you keep doing the same thing over and over again. And let's just see. So right. Obviously she's going to have a bath. Obviously. She's a dirty little girl. See how dirty is she? That's what happens when you're neglected. Oh. And, well, yeah. Mm-hmm. I definitely think she needs to be restrung. She's got her original rubber. Okay. So we're going to, after you can look at the other tutorials to see the hair, but we'll do a little bit of going through. Yeah, we're going to show you just a snippet of each thing. But this one, we're going to focus on her dress. Restoring a vintage dress that's 70 years old. And that's a pretty good stain. Yeah, but it's surface, I think. We hope. She's got stains through, and this collar, just to give you a little sneak peek, is supposed to be down like that. It's not supposed to be up like this. And in the back of this little young lady, she's got all this mess to deal with. And we're going to teach you how to do all this. See all right. This? I think we ought to get to it. I think we ought to get to it. Well, here is a question for someone who's watching. This is something I've never seen before. Now, it might look like that's part of her hair, but it's not. And neither was the other piece that was much longer. I've never seen this before in a nylon wig. It's attached to her wig, but it is not hair. Nope, it is not. So if anybody has any information on that one, we'd love to know what it is. And we're going to... Right now, I'm just doing a real quick... Comb out. Her hair is not knotted, so I can use the slicker, and I'm not hurting her. I've already checked her wig to see if there's any, there's no, that I have found, there is no broken threads. So she's in pretty good shape in that case. In her wig, I would say that she's in pretty good shape. I found a couple of little pieces. Here's a piece right here. See this little string right here? That's part of her wig. Mm-hmm. But it's attached, and I'll check it out, but I don't think I have to do any repairs. Okay, so we're going to finish this, and then we're going to move on to giving her a sponge bath. I am using a wet Mr. Clean. Damp. Well, I guess it's not totally damp. There's a little bit more water to it than that. I use a damp one. Okay, well, I use a little bit wetter. Got to be very careful on her cheeks, on her eyelashes that are under the painted on eyelashes, and those eyebrows. Please be careful with the eyebrows.
and I'm going to work on anything around those later because I have to be very detailed. Sometimes toothpicks and so on.
All right, well, let's get going with that, Mr. Clean.
Now she's ready to have her hair washed. So she took a little rest in the tub. And can I play?
Really? Looks like our bathtub got an upgrade.
Yeah, we got an upgrade to our bathtub. Honey wanted to soak in the tub, although I would not suggest soaking your dolls in the tub. But you can pretend you soak them in the tub. If you like this tub, it's at Target with so many other miniatures.
Yeah, in their 18-inch doll aisle, they have lots of miniatures that would go very well with with a 14-inch, 16, 17, 18, that area size doll.
Yeah. And so people have asked us, where do we get our miniatures?
Well, that's one place.
They're less expensive than some other well-known 18-inch doll manufacturers.
Well, you know, honey, I think that she's already had her bath, so she doesn't need to be in the bath.
No, she didn't need to. It just looks good.
So right now, we are going to wash your hair, but we're going to kind of fast forward through it a little bit. You can see what happens. First, we're going to use a mild shampoo, which is in this one.
Mixed with water.
And then there is Downy Free and Gentle for her conditioner, which is also mixed with water. And if you'd like to see an in-depth tutorial on washing her hair, cleaning the outside of the doll,
checking the wig,
cleaning the inside of the doll, and restringing the doll, we have in-depth tutorials on all of those subjects. But right now, we're just going to keep going on this little girl. So she's had her hair washed, and now she's going to have it combed out, and then she's going to have it curled, and these are the curlers that we use. And even though there are, I think, how many different colors are there, honey?
There are 4: blue, yellow, green, and pink, respectively.
And we really only use the green, the blue and the yellow. And we use these papers for the ends of the hair. This is what we use.
And I end up cutting them.
See? And yep, she cuts them in half.
Because they're that long, and I cut them.
And then we use them and use them and use them and use them again.
So you can see this is all wrinkled because it's been used, like, I can't tell you how many times.
And then there's, yep. And we're just going to show you a really quick excerpt of this, since we have, as we said before when we were washing our hair, that we've shown tutorials of this before. If you would like to see a full tutorial, you can go to DIY Doll Artist and see a full tutorial. Now I'm going to show you how to make this little trick-or-treat bag. It could be a trick-or-treat bag, or it could be a bag for groceries. But I'm going to show you how to make it. I decorated this one for trick-or-treat that will go with the dolls. And here are some of the things that you will need in order to make it. A plain paper bag. On this bag, we're not going to use this part. We're only going to use the handles. And here is the diagram of how to fold after it's cut out. And I'm going to put a copy of this as a PDF in the description. So let's get to it. First of all, we're going to take a regular paper bag and we're going to cut out a 7 1/4 inch by 5 3/4 inch piece of that bag, which you can see pretty much fits right there on my template. And all I'm going to do is make some marks. That's going to show me where I have 4 little cut marks and I have some fold marks, and I am just going to mark where I want those just a little, because I don't want it to go all the way. Just going to make a little mark with my template. After I made all my marks, now I'm going to show you where I folded it first. I think the first fold you should do is this fold right here. This is going to allow you to close it. Then I folded it. I folded this one and I cut here, 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 and here, and there'll actually be a fold like this. So you're going to want to fold this up. Just, it's only 1/4 inch that you cut, and just follow each fold. And when you are done with your folds, then you can see that we're going to take some glue. I'm going to use some hot glue, but you can use whatever glue you like, and that is how it will be joined. But before we do that, I'm going to take one of these, our handles, and I'm going to glue it to here and to here, the handle. You can see that. Then I'm going to take one of these pieces and I'm going to glue that there. That is how we'll get our handles. So you want to put your handles in before you shut it. And you also want to do any decoration that you want on the front or the back before you close it. But I would suggest that you do all of your folds so you know, see, this is my front, and that is the part that I am going to decorate before I get to closing it. As you can see, I just put in this one. I hot glued it down, and then I put the paper over it with some more hot glue to keep the paper down. I just realized that I didn't tell you how big to make this little paper that goes over the handles. And I made Now that I have my handles, I am going to put a little bead of hot glue right down the edge, and I'm going to attach the side to it, just like that. Next, I am going to fold the bottom. You can see where the cuts are. See how you have this, and then I am going to glue this one down to here and glue this one over here. And all I'm going to do is stick something down through the center to make sure that all of the hot glue has stuck. So there is the finished bottom. All I did was take the end of my pencil and I shoved it down inside so that I wouldn't have to use my fingers on the hot glue. And that is my completed bag. Of course, I haven't put my decoration on it, but I would definitely suggest that if you want to put decoration on it, that it would be easier to do when it's still flat, but I wanted to show you how it went together. I'm going to show you one more time the template, just in case you can't get it from the PDF in the description, or I have a difficult time putting the PDF in the description. Here is the template, and you can use the measurements, or you could take a screenshot. That would work too.
So this is the dress that needs to be repaired. I'm going to show you just a couple of things. First of all, there's the buttonhole. It looks like it's the buttonhole that is the whole problem, but it's not the buttonhole that's the whole problem. The problem is that the gathering has come apart here. Now, with the thread, a lot of people will double their thread and not two layers of thread. And I'm asking or telling that you can see I'm not going to knot 2 layers. I'm going to knot 1 thread.
And you're going to do that because it's such a delicate fabric.
Because when you're working with old, especially when you get into organzas and very fine laces, and I'm going to do 3, trying to get as big a knot as I can. And I use a very sharp and very thin needle. I would use a smaller one if I was on finer fabric. I'm going to cut my end off. And then this is a little heavier. So my needle is normal, but in other cases it wouldn't be. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up gathering this fabric here. And when you see when it's gathered, because I can't do that on the film because it will take too much time. Once that's gathered, I can bring that buttonhole back.
Okay, well you can show them right about now.
So here's the buttonhole, and this is just tentatively done. And I will do the zigzag as it was in the original way it was. I will finish that. But I also got to come back and I have to finish off this where I had drawn
where the seam came apart.
Where the seam came apart. So I have to finish that, but I can't do that on the camera because it just takes too much time. All this will be trimmed off. All these threads for 7 years, and it'll be, well, I don't know. I am not going to seal it. And the reason I'm not going to seal it is because I keep everything as original as possible.
Okay.
This was not the way it came from the factory with all those extra threads.
That's just
what
I said.
Okay. So no, I would, if it was my own and I was keeping it, I might, if it was my own thing I was making, but I will seal all my fabric. But I will not seal something that I'm trying to keep original. But I will pull off all these extra threads and clean it up, and I will this is all bent, and it'll all be ironed flat. Now the other thing I would like to show people, let me just leave this in here, is I don't take off because I want everything as original as possible, especially in what I'm selling. And so I will have to fish, if you can see, is this the one? One of these has a seam that needs to be repaired. Yes, this one has a seam that needs to be repaired. See that, folks? So I don't remove the original elastic because I want the dress to stay as original as possible. So I doubled my elastic thread. I came through here, and then I will continue to zigzag and give some elastic back to the elastic that has been It's been taken away. So I will zigzag all the way around. Of course, it's going to get caught on everything. And that's how you're going to, excuse me, put elastic back in your, try to keep it from going through the outside. Just want to go through the inside, the actual elastic. And that's how you'll give your sleeve back its elasticity. See? So this dress, some dresses I don't do the repairs ahead of time, and some dresses I do.
You mean before washing them?
Before washing them. That's right. I'm sorry. This, if you are going to trim like this is going to be trimmed, it's going to be flattened out. Don't ever trim anything that takes you close to a stitch. See, it's double stitched here. I'm going to trim off these extra threads. Here, this will be flattened and ironed. And then I will just trim it slightly here. It's not going to change anything about the what it was when it was made. So just be careful when you're trimming off these extra threads, you don't get close to any stitching.
Okay, so you're going to do all the repairs.
I'll do all the repairs.
See it washed.
It's just going to go into some OxiClean. Dress is in OxiClean. Stain's gone. Everything's bright and white. And the blue did not fade. And as you can see, all that extra thread has been done.
And it's been cut off.
Yes, taken off. And the buttonhole is repaired. But now we have to deal with the lace. And we've done this in another video. All this will be iron flat. But first, I have to take care of the lace. And the lace is all bunched up. And so what we do is gently spread it with your fingers. So if the lace is real frail, if you spread it too hard, it'll just rip. But we need to.
And for those of you who didn't see the other video.
Yeah, we have already done this.
This is a low heat iron.
Yes.
That you purchased at Joann Fabrics.
Yes. And it doesn't hurt. I have used it. You're sitting on it, Shantae. I've used it on very frail, thin fabrics, and I have not had a problem at all. So I can recommend it. So you see, I even leave it sitting. I don't mean to do that, folks. Don't do it. But I've never had a problem. So what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll tend to all this lace. And as I said before, this lace is supposed to be laying flat. When you saw it before, it was up like that. I will have this all down. I'll have this piece straightened at the neck and flattened out. You can see I've stuffed the sleeves. That's ironing without an iron. I will do the elastic after the dress dries. I am ironing it wet, and I will iron it several times because I do not want creases. Well, here it is. The dress is finished. It's now restored. You can see that she has the elastic in her sleeves, and they have no creases because of the way we did the no ironing. And this, you see that all of her lace is the way it's supposed to be. She has her waist done, and we'll turn her around, and you can see her button has been fixed, and her waist has been fixed, and we will flip it upside down, and you'll see all of those threads are gone.
Looks lovely.
The dress is now the way it was the day the little girl got her.
Yep, now we ought to see how we take down that hair.
Yeah. Well, here she is. She has her hair set, and it's been up for many days now.
A couple days. You know, those are an awful lot of curlers for such a little bitty.
I guess we should show.
Yeah, lots of curlers. Well, take a few down, hun, and we'll move on to having her hair styled.
Getting her hair styled.
And then she's going to get ready for trick-or-treating.
She sure is.
Well, my goodness. That is an awful lot of curls. She definitely has the Shirley Temple thing going on.
But not for long.
Nope, and look at all those.
Well, here she is. She has her hair combed and it is styled. And there's a couple of clips just to train it for a few hours.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
let's see her get dressed. She's gonna go trick-or-treating.
Yes, well, she's got her original shoes and socks on. Well,
so what is she going as?
She's gonna be a fairy.
A fairy.
Yes, she's gonna be a fairy.
Oh.
She has her little fairy bloomers on. And I just got to get it over a little tuchus. It's always easier. And she's getting her wings. There we go.
And I think she needs a crown.
Yeah, she sure does. A wreath. There's her wreath.
And she can't be a fairy without a wand.
And she can't be a fairy without a wand.
And since she's going to go trick-or-treating, I think she should have a bag.
She has to have a bag for trick-or-treating.
And
she has a mask.
Yep. Well, she's all set. She's all set to go trick-or-treating. I wonder if we should find her some friends to go trick-or-treating with.
I think we should.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Well, there she is. She's all ready to go trick-or-treating, and it looks like she's got some friends to go with her. My goodness, she has a whole group of young ladies. And it looks like they each have a trick-or-treat bag, and I think maybe they already hit a house.
Looks to me like they have. They got a sucker.
Yep, they've got a sucker, and they've got the bag that I showed you how to make. I also made the sucker, and I can do a really short tutorial and put that on if anybody's interested. But the interesting thing about these dolls is that each one of them is available. They are going to shortly be on eBay. And you can find them either under Splitter TM, which you might not be able to find them under that. If you can't, type in Vintage Ideal Toni Doll, P90, or in Raggedy Andy's case, P91, doll with costume. So everybody that you see here has this little costume they have on, but they also will have an original Ideal Toni dress, and for most of them, shoes and socks.
And panties.
And panties, my goodness.
All original.
So here's a real good close-up of Raggedy Andy, who was a P91. And Little Bo Peep, that is the way she comes. She does not have a second dress. And of course, the star of the show, our little fairy. Then this little girl is a walker, and she can walk, but her head does not go with her walking, but she can walk, she can sit down. And
her head is articulated. You can move it right and left and up and down, and she works fine.
And little Miss B here, she also has an original dress that goes with her. So I really do hope everybody's enjoyed this video. And I think next week we're going to be tackling mohair.
Yes.
On a vintage 1934 composition Shirley Temple doll.
Absolutely.
It will be an experience, I grant you. So if everybody...
And guess what?
What?
We're not going to lose any hair when we work on this wig.
Oh, that will be new.
That will be new.
So I guess we'll say the things we always say, which is if you liked this video, please give us a like. If you're new and you enjoyed it, we'd love to have you subscribe. Are you ready, honey? What do you mean?
Just remember,
Mm-hmm.
it is possible to do it yourself.
Happy Halloween, everybody.